Welcome back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Season 2 of Flex X Cop wastes absolutely no time throwing Jin I Soo into danger. Instead of easing viewers back into the story, the episode opens with an international operation that immediately reminds us why Team 1 has become one of the most effective violent crime units in Gangha. But while the team manages to wrap up one difficult case almost effortlessly, they soon find themselves caught in a terrifying game where someone seems determined to kill I Soo. The episode begins far away from Korea in Mexico. Jin I Soo, Park Jun-young and Choi Kyung-jin have traveled overseas aboard Hansu Group's private jet to hunt down a gang of scammers. The criminals stole more than 100 million won from innocent victims before fleeing the country, believing they were safely beyond the reach of Korean police. Of course, Team 1 has other plans. Rather than storming in recklessly, the detectives prepare an elaborate undercover operation. Disguised as a cheerful mariachi band, they quietly make their way into a bar where the scammers are celebrating. The disguise is so convincing that none of the criminals suspect anything unusual. I Soo also uses his family's enormous wealth to their advantage by renting out the entire bar, ensuring that innocent civilians won't get caught in the crossfire once the operation begins. As soon as the signal is given, the music stops and chaos erupts. The detectives reveal their identities and launch a surprise attack. What follows is an intense hand-to-hand fight as tables are smashed, punches are thrown, and the scammers desperately try to escape. Although the gang fights back fiercely, Team 1 quickly gains the upper hand thanks to their experience working together. Just when victory seems certain, one of the criminals suddenly pulls out a handgun, raising the stakes dramatically. Fortunately, local police officers who had been waiting outside immediately rush into the building. Working together with the Korean detectives, they arrest the remaining gang members without anyone being seriously injured. With another successful international mission completed, Team 1 returns home to Korea. Back at Gangha Police Station, life appears to be returning to normal. However, things quickly become awkward for I Soo because a reality television crew has arrived to film a documentary about his unusual life as both a detective and the wealthy heir to Hansu Group. The cameras follow him everywhere as he proudly introduces his fellow detectives. Jun-young and Kyung-jin reluctantly participate, although neither seems especially comfortable with the attention. One noticeable absence is Team 1's leader. Their previous leader has left for training in Los Angeles, leaving the position vacant. Surprisingly, no one has volunteered to replace him. Rumors spread around the station that experienced officers simply don't want the responsibility of supervising someone as unpredictable as Jin I Soo. While showing the crew around, I Soo checks an application where ordinary citizens can send messages asking for police assistance. Most of the requests are routine, but one message immediately catches his eye. Instead of asking for help, the sender invites him to play a mysterious game. The message includes photographs and a location. Feeling curious, I Soo shows everything to Jun-young and Kyung-jin. They quickly discover that the location belongs to one of Hansu Group's department stores. Something doesn't feel right. The detectives head to the department store to investigate, carefully comparing the photos with the real location. That's when they notice one extremely alarming detail. One of the boxes visible in the pictures appears to contain what looks like a homemade explosive device. Without realizing the danger, I Soo instinctively reaches toward it. The moment he touches the device, a timer activates. The atmosphere changes instantly. Realizing they may be dealing with a real bomb, the detectives immediately call the bomb disposal unit and begin evacuating everyone inside the building. Customers and employees rush outside while panic spreads through the department store. Although officers instruct the television crew to leave for safety reasons, the reporters refuse to completely stop filming. Instead, they secretly continue recording events from a distance, hoping to capture exclusive footage. Soon, the bomb squad arrives. Leading the team is Ju Haira. The moment she appears, viewers quickly learn that she and I Soo already know each other very well. Hyra calmly approaches the explosive and begins dismantling it with remarkable confidence. Just after she finishes, she jokingly pretends that the bomb is still active, causing I Soo to panic before revealing it was only a prank. Although I Soo is embarrassed, it's obvious that Hyra enjoys teasing him. Flashbacks reveal that she was once his instructor at the police academy. During training, she constantly challenged him, refusing to treat him differently despite his wealthy background. Those experiences built mutual respect between them, even if they still enjoy arguing. Unfortunately for I Soo, his embarrassment doesn't end there. The reality show crew secretly sends their footage to a news station, and clips of I Soo panicking during the bomb scare are soon broadcast nationwide. The story quickly becomes controversial. Police Chief Kwon Tae-jayan argues that I Soo's presence creates unnecessary publicity for the department. He believes someone born into one of Korea's richest families should simply inherit the Hansu Group instead of working as a detective. Chief Park Chang-gun disagrees. He firmly defends I Soo, pointing out that despite his unusual background, he consistently solves difficult cases and has earned his place within the department. Still, the incident creates tension throughout the station. Meanwhile, Hyra studies the bomb more carefully. She becomes convinced that this wasn't random. Someone specifically targeted Jin I Soo. Worried that another attack could happen at any moment, she warns him not to travel alone until they identify whoever planted the explosive. Unfortunately, I Soo refuses to hide. He insists on attending a Hansu Group product launch event that had already been scheduled. Knowing he won't change his mind, Junyoung and Kyungjin accompany him as protection. Hyra also attempts to attend, but security refuses to let her inside because her clothes don't match the event's dress code. Rather than giving up, she quickly changes into an elegant dress inside her car before returning. Even while waiting outside, she remains convinced that another attack is coming. Sure enough, her instincts prove correct. Near the end of the event, the same anonymous account sends I Soo another direct message. The mysterious sender declares that their game isn't over. Seconds later, a small explosive detonates nearby. Although the blast is much smaller than the first bomb, it confirms everyone's worst fears. This isn't a prank. Someone is deliberately targeting Jin I Soo. For the first time, even I Soo can no longer laugh the situation away. The constant attacks begin affecting him psychologically. Back at the station, he experiences a panic attack as the pressure finally overwhelms him. Seeing his condition, Hyra immediately orders the television crew to stop filming altogether. This investigation has become far too dangerous to be treated like entertainment. She then asks I Soo to write down every single person who could possibly hate him enough to want him dead. Meanwhile, Junyoung and Kyungjin carefully review hours of CCTV footage from the launch event. Eventually, they identify one suspicious individual. A waiter named Jin I Soo appears to have behaved strangely during the event. Further investigation reveals that his father once worked at Hansu Chemical before leaving the company 8 months earlier. The detectives wonder whether his family holds a grudge against Hansu, and whether Jin Soo might be seeking revenge. At the same time, Hyra investigates another possible suspect. Park Jeon-tae, a former bomb maker, has recently been released from prison. Given the sophistication of the explosives used against I Soo, he becomes an obvious person of interest. However, both investigations soon reach dead ends. Jin I Soo turns out to be nothing more than an obsessive admirer of I Soo's luxurious lifestyle. He dreams of becoming rich like the Chaebol heir, but has no intention of hurting him. His father also wasn't forced out of Hansu Chemical. Instead, he voluntarily left the company to start a quieter life as a farmer in the countryside. Park Jeon-tae also proves innocent. After leaving prison, he abandoned his criminal past and now uses his engineering skills for legitimate work instead of building bombs. With both suspects eliminated, the detectives are once again left with no idea who is orchestrating the attacks. Desperate for answers, I Soo visits someone unexpected. He goes to prison to meet his own older brother. Since their relationship has always been complicated, I Soo wonders whether his brother could secretly be behind everything. Instead, the conversation gives him a completely different perspective. His brother calmly tells him that revenge doesn't make sense. According to him, I Soo has never deliberately hurt anyone badly enough to inspire such hatred. If someone truly wants him dead, their motive might not be revenge at all. It could be driven by desire. The mysterious comment leaves both I Soo and the audience wondering what that desire could possibly be. Realizing the danger hasn't passed, Hyra decides that I Soo can no longer remain at home. She prepares to move him to a secure safe house until the bomber is caught. Unknown to everyone, a mysterious person watches the police station from inside a parked vehicle as they leave. To reduce the risk of another attack, Hyra insists they travel in her own car, while Junyoung and Kyungjin follow behind in a separate vehicle. Everything appears peaceful. Then a mobile phone suddenly begins ringing. The sound comes from the back seat. When I Soo turns around, he discovers a suspicious box sitting behind them. Inside is another bomb. The moment he opens it, the timer activates. 4 minutes remain before detonation. The explosive's blast radius covers 100 meters. They're driving on a busy highway, surrounded by countless innocent people. Stopping the vehicle isn't an option. Panic fills the car as Hyra desperately tries to think of a solution. Then I Soo makes a split-second decision. Rather than risking an explosion among traffic, he accelerates toward the nearest lake, hoping the water will absorb most of the blast. Behind them, Junyoung and Kyungjin realize something is wrong and immediately follow, as the convoy races through the roads against the clock. Every second becomes more intense as the countdown continues. 4 minutes become 3. 3 become 2. The timer keeps ticking lower, while the lake finally comes into view. With only moments remaining, I Soo and Hyra prepare themselves to jump from the moving vehicle before it reaches the water. The countdown reaches its final seconds. 3, 2, 1. Just before viewers discover whether they survive, the episode cuts to black. Season 2's opening episode ends on an explosive cliffhanger, setting up a deadly game between Jin I Soo and an unknown mastermind whose motives remain completely hidden.